What's up everyone, my name's Kaj, I'm a top 100 DPS player, and after talking to several other top 100 DPS players, I'm here to present you with the season 6 tier list for DPS. Make sure to stick around to the end because the new meta might surprise you. So you guys are probably wondering, what's the best DPS hero right now? Well, before we get into that, let's start off with the worst, Symmetra. Although her beam shreds target at maximum charge, it usually tickles them due to her low range. Her sentries are also completely useless, doing only 25 damage per second and having just 30 HP. A lot of people think her ult might be her saving grace, but enemies can just wait it out as it only lasts 12 seconds or simply walk through it as a team. Long story short, don't play Symmetra and just forget she exists. Unfortunately, Season 6 has been absolutely unforgiving for Genji as the meta completely counters him. While Genji is a good pick versus heroes like Widowmaker and Hanzo on maps such as Junkertown or Havana, he struggles super hard at what he really likes to do and what's most fun to execute, which is diving. It's extremely hard for him to find picks with tanks such as Winston, Ramattra, and Junker Queen at the top of the meta, who are naturally very anti-dive heroes. I personally find Genji really fun to play, and it's just unfortunate that things like Cassidy and Lifeweaver's HP buffs really affect his ability to one-shot key targets and get out safely. The boring anti-dive meta shuts him down super hard and forces him into a poke playstyle that isn't fun or effective. Hopefully we see some Genji buffs real soon. Moving on to our C tier picks, we have Bastion. Mobility is the name of the game in Season 6, and while Bastion has received some much needed buffs, they weren't big enough to make up for his key weakness of being super immobile. While this isn't as big a problem on maps like Junkertown or Route 66 Defense, it's extremely important for a DPS to be mobile and to get to fights quickly, but it's almost impossible for Bastion to do that. However, if you do decide to play Bastion on defensive maps where he's strong, make sure to pair him with heroes like Ryan, Orisa, or long-range supports like Ana or the new hero Illari. What's up everyone, we're doing a 50% off sale on GameLeap right now. Click the link in the description below to claim it and sign up today. You'll gain access to hundreds of in-depth guides on every hero, and I'm also going to be making a ton of updated DPS guides for Season 6 that will only be available on our site. So click the link right now to get 50% off and to rank up faster. Now let's talk about my personal favorite hero, Widowmaker. Although she's extremely fun to play, she's been struggling. In the hands of good players, she can be incredibly strong on maps like Junkertown or Havana due to their open space and innate safety, but it's extremely hard for her to bring much utility other than picks. Although her ult is amazing for farming clips, it isn't practical and expires quickly just like Symmetra's ult. The enemy team can usually just wait it out. She's also squishy with only 175 HP and super bad in close range duels, making it hard for her to deal with mobile assassins. You're much better off playing Hanzo or Ashe instead because they do the same things but much better. Unfortunately, Junkrat hasn't been explosive this season and doesn't synergize well with anyone, including his lore best friend Roadhog. Despite this, he can perform exceptionally well on some control maps like Liaison Tower, but on all other maps, he gets outperformed by almost every other DPS. Riptide does no damage for the first 3 seconds, making his ult extremely bad in teamfights. However, if you do like the long-range AoE damage playstyle, you should definitely take a look at Pharah as she's much better. Our last hero in C tier is Torbjorn. Just like Bastion, Torbjorn received some much needed buffs in Season 6, but they didn't do much for him. His ult and sentries can be extremely potent on maps like Liaison Tower in Nepal, but it's hard for him to play on almost all other maps due to his ult being relatively short range and his sentry DPS output being rather low. As the better version of Junkrat, we have Pharah in the B tier. She remains a very consistent pick with her high AoE damage and good mobility, allowing her to be a threat to the enemy team. Have a Mercy pocket you and remember to stay super far away from people as your weapon has no fall off damage. Your ult is super broken in Shatter or Grav, but if the enemy team has too much hit scan, you should probably switch off and look at Echo. Speaking of Echo, she's our next B tier pick. She's a simple stable pick that's amazing with synergies like Winston and Mercy. E right click combo insta-kill squishies, and when paired with Mercy you can kill tanks with ease. Unlike Pharah, Echo's flight is much more burst oriented, leaving you less exposed to hit scan. Reason why Echo isn't a higher pick on the tier list though is because her ultimate is simply too inefficient and doesn't do much of anything at all. Now let's talk about the most annoying hero in the game, Mei. She's a great duelist thanks to her passive and cryo freeze. She's almost always a good stable pick due to being self-sufficient and simple to play. The only problem is that when your team isn't pulling their weight, you deal no damage and can't kill anyone. Your ultimate is a great tool in teamfights but can be cancelled out by Sombra's EMP. Finishing off our B tier, we have Reaper. A lot of people still think only flanking is the way to play Reaper, which is just wrong. Sticking with the tank like Ryan and playing a frontline playstyle allows Reaper to do massive amounts of damage and heal a ton while also taking pressure off his team. His Wraith form also offers him tons of survivability, making it so he can't get bursted down if you make a mistake. Something you should practice on Reaper is learning to dodge key abilities with Wraith form. For example, you can use Wraith form to dodge Shatter or Sleep Dart, making it the most important thing to learn. His ultimate still remains one of the best team wipe abilities in the game, making him a perfect mid-tier pick. The only thing keeping Reaper out of A tier is the nerf that doesn't allow him to wraith out of things like Junkrat Trap, Grav, or Mayol. Pulling into our A tier, we have, did you guys know we just launched a news section on the GameLeap website? Go to gameleap.com/news to stay updated on all the latest news for Overwatch and other games. Cassidy. Cassidy would probably be higher up on this tier list, but his fall off damage has been nerfed heavily, forcing him into a weaker playstyle since he has to be close to mid-range now. Thankfully, he has 225 HP instead of just 200, making him significantly better at close to mid-range engagements and helping him not get one-shot by Genji and Tracer. While his ultimate isn't the best, he can still create lots of pressure thanks to his sheer DPS output and burst potential with Magnetic Grenade. Next we have Ashe. Ashe has been a strong pick for a super long time. She has great damage with her primary fire and dynamite, and her coach gun gives her a lot of survivability and self-peel. Ashe's damage fall off is still super high, enabling her to do tons of damage from far away with her ADS fire. This along with her coach gun makes her one of the safest DPS picks you can play and spam every game on all maps. Her ult is also an amazing tool for teamfights and can be super lethal when combined with ults like Shatter or Nano. Sojourn still remains in the A tier. She deals a ton of damage with her railgun alt fire and disruptor shot, so she's never lacking in damage. She also has great synergies with Ana, Mercy, and Baptiste. Her ultimate is absolutely lethal when paired with Grab or Shatter. She's the most mobile DPS in the game thanks to her power slide giving her great survivability. Her only problem is that her primary fire isn't that good at close range engagements, so ideally you want to space enemies as best as possible using your power slide to create distance between you and them, enabling you to use your railgun alt fire for massive damage. To finish off our A tier, let's take a look at Soldier. Despite being slightly nerfed in Season 6, Soldier still remains as the leading pick in A tier due to how easy and effective he is. A lot of people think Soldier is a low elo pick and they're just wrong. Myself and others have seen great success with him all the way up to a top 500 level due to his strong self-healing, great damage even from a distance, and amazing burst with Helix rockets. His ult is one of the best ults in the game, and when paired with Nano can absolutely decimate teams. Soldier has only been consistent and performs well on every single map with every single comp. He also fits many playstyles, so if you want to play him as a high ground controller or a team fighter, you can do both with ease. To start off our S tier picks, we have Tracer. Tracer is everything you could ever want in an assassin. She does tons of damage thanks to her primary fire, and she has great mobility. A useful tip is to save at least one dash to escape from situations without using recall. And even when you do get into a bad situation, you can use recall to get away. She has amazing synergy with supports like Kiriko and tanks like Zarya who can shield her or empower her speed and damage, making her almost unstoppable. Next up we have Hanzo. Hanzo has been a dominant pick for Season 6 and has almost anything a DPS player could want. He's very mobile thanks to his wall climb and double jump, making him extremely slippery. His draw time to kill a 200 HP target is almost non-existent, making Hanzo good at all ranges, despite people only drawing arrows from far away. Hanzo's Storm Arrow is one of the most broken abilities in the game. You can use it to kill enemy snipers like Widowmaker who can't deal with you from close range, or to defend yourself from flanks from characters like Tracer or Sombra. His Sonic Arrow in combination with his ultimate can zone enemies off choke points, and when combined with Grab or Shatter, you can team wipe. Finishing off our S tier, let's take an in-depth look at the best DPS in the meta, Sombra. Sombra is definitely hard to master, but once you do, you'll be more annoying than even the best mate players. Her passive is an excellent tool for picking off key targets due to the bonus damage you deal to hack targets and the ESP you gain against low health targets. Her primary fire is also an amazing tool against squishy and tanky targets alike. She can kill any target below 300 HP in exactly 2 seconds, and she can farm her ultimate incredibly quickly off tanks due to its low cost and her high DPS. Sombra's abilities are also extremely powerful as they offer her and her team things no other heroes can. Her hack allows her to duel almost every squishy with great ease as it disables their abilities for 1.5 seconds, and she only needs that much time to assassinate them. Her stealth allows her to move around the map incredibly fast due to its 60% movement speed buff and has a very short detection radius of only 4 meters, making you invisible until it's far too late for the enemy to do anything about it. Even if you mess up, you can translocate, making her a good hero to test limits with. Unlike other assassins, she has one of the best teamfight ultimates in the game, instantly dealing 40% current health damage, destroying barriers, disabling sentries including Mei and Wrecking Ball's ultimates, and disabling all enemy abilities for 1.5 seconds. All these things combined make Sombra an amazing pick to rank up with. Thanks for watching everyone, I'll see you guys on the GameLeap website, go get your membership at 50% off and have a good day.